What's going on, everybody? It's Dylan, Mitch, and Kev of the Bottom Line View. We're here for our weekly Raw and Smackdown reviews. Of course, this is the new style that's been going on for the last couple of weeks, where we've been doing Raw and Smackdown, and this week a pay-per-view review on Fridays. So, of course, that's the new schedule. Check out the videos. If you're checking it out later on, welcome. We're going to talk a little bit about the pay-per-view and some of the big matches from the show. We're going to talk about Raw and how Shane McMahon took under siege of Raw. And then we're going to talk about some of the big points of SmackDown and the news in about this 1 hour video. So comment below your thoughts on some of the stuff. And today we're going to have Kev host the show. He volunteered to be the host. He knows all the talking points and the topics. So I'm gonna send it over to our host, Kev. Kev.
Hello. How is everyone doing out there? Hosting the show. Now I feel not nervous. I don't feel nervous. So there.
That's good.
So let's start. It was a hectic couple of weeks with the first thing, of course, we'll have to start with the pay-per-view, the TLC. I almost wanted to call it Hell in a Cell, and I actually forgot the name because these pay-per-views these events are all mixing in my brain. But of course, the big stories coming out of that were Enzo got his title back, AJ replacing Bray, and Kurt Angle was the honorary member of the Shield. And did we get a face turn to Braun Strowman? What do you think? What did you think of the pay-per-view?
So I didn't watch a majority of it. I watched two full matches, the Finn AJ match and the main event. And the rest of the card I honestly didn't care about. That's the problem. It was a very weak card, and they put a lot of their big stars in the main event. So it kind of weakened how much strength they could do with it. But for the two matches, I thought they were pretty good. Finn and AJ put on a good match for what it was. AJ having to work a lot, so good on him for being the workhorse of the company. Main event was a lot of fun. Kurt Angle going out there doing his couple of spots. The Shield, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose doing their crazy high spots. I thought it kind of dragged on towards the middle of the match, but it was still pretty good. The Braun Strowman Kane stuff was interesting. Is Braun a face? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a weird direction to go with Braun Strowman. I think he's always been better as I'm going to kick your ass and just mess up the whole plan and agenda. But I still like the match overall, and I guess it will take time to recognize whether if I like this face turn or not. But I thought those two matches delivered on very different ways, and I was entertained by those two. The rest of the card, like I said, didn't really care for.
Mitch, what did you think?
Holy crap. I'm on WWE.com, Dylan. You should check out Becky Lynch's photo.
Oh, yeah.
Superstars heat things up and score.
Mitch is stuck on Becky Lynch.
He froze on Becky Lynch. I know what shoot he's talking about. They did a Kane shoot for the 20th anniversary of Kane. Mitch, you froze.
I keep losing my internet. I don't know why. So I'm trying to go to WWE.com because I forget all the matches, to be honest with you. But obviously the big talking point is Kurt Angle. I mean, you guys didn't really talk about Kurt Angle.
Well,
what I said is I gave the impression, give you overall thoughts, and I wanted to hear what people had to say. So we were going to get into
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice to see Kurt Angle back. I thought the match was good at times. It was okay at other times. It was kind of a messy, crazy match, but it was nice to see Kurt Angle out there hitting freaking suplexes and hitting the angle slam and doing his thing. So that was nice to see. And it kind of turned out the way that I thought it would. He would have his bits and moments and his little things here and there, but he wouldn't be a huge part of the match. Some people are debating whether he should have been in the match in the first place, but he was. So I'm just evaluating it from that standpoint. I did like the stuff with Braun Strowman and Kane. I think it's interesting going forward. I think this is a chance for Kane to bring more of a character out in Braun, and I'm actually going to talk about how I feel like Kane as a character is super out of place in WWE right now in a little bit. What else was there? People were complaining about, I don't know, they were complaining about everything, but
Of course.
Apparently Emma, like, I didn't watch this match, but apparently Emma outperformed Asuka. So there's that. I didn't watch it, but that's what people were talking about. Enzo won the belt again, so
Good.
that was nice. Don't really know what else to say because the rest of the show didn't mean anything. I mean, you had Jason Jordan versus Elias, the meaningless Finn Balor AJ Styles match. You had the Raw Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. I guess meant something, but everyone knew who was going to win. You had a meaningless cruiserweight tag team match. And Sasha Banks on the kickoff show. So everything was centered around one match, and that's basically what we got. A pretty decent handicap match with some nice spots for some nostalgia.
By the way, thanks to Katana for giving us $10 in the chat again. The man, the legend.
The land, the myth, the legend.
The pug. I always forget about the hug.
For me, I thought overall it was not a terrible pay-per-view. There were some interesting little stories that nobody really caught. I mean, one we'll get into as we talk about Raw, but Mickie James, apparently the retirement story was an interesting one. The Enzo getting the title back, I don't think we were surprised by that. I don't know why we needed Jason Jordan and Elias throughout the show. That seemed weird to me.
The pre-show was Jason Jordan throwing vegetables at Elias.
Yeah, and then they finally had. Then we were behind. Yeah, then we finally had that match. Nice. Yes, apparently we're 3. I liked the Finn Balor AJ Styles match. I thought it brought a lot of nostalgia and it was a good crowd pleaser. And I would argue, and I know Mitch will disagree, it would have been better than the Finn Bray match, just because they worked well together. And I thought that they used Kurt Angle really well, because they made him, I disagree, they made him the focus on the match, not in a way that he had to do all these spots, but he came in at the right time for the spots. At the end, they took him out, and then they brought him back in with the theme music. They made him the honorary Shield member. They kind of put the focus on him, and I think that helped the match.
What do you feel about the people saying that they had Kurt Angle in the match to get the Shield over? I don't get that at all.
Wait, the Shield are already over.
They're already over. They were already, yeah. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that for me, it was Kurt Angle. I think Kurt Angle was the best option, and I think that this was already, I think it was a month ahead. I think you guys talked about this last week. It was a month ahead because of what we're about to going to get into here. But and I thought that so they used Kurt Angle really well. We're gonna get into the theory of Kane. I question mark that Braun's a face because I actually still think he's a heel, and I think
he's just Braun. I don't know if he's a face or if he's a heel.
Well, it was a weird way they did it though. I didn't really get the booking of that, but
the TLC garbage can match, but it was good it was good, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes on going forward and what happens. Did I miss anything on that? Was there anything we needed to else catch? The only other thing was apparently it was supposed to be Jericho. That was supposed to be the Finn Balor's opponent. That was Finn's first choice, but Jericho declined. So AJ had to fly from South America to do this.
He worked from Chile and then did the pay-per-view, Raw and SmackDown. So congrats. He's a workhorse.
Good on AJ Styles.
Yeah. Good on Mr. AJ.
Yeah, that was almost too sweet. Now let's get into Raw, and it was an interesting show, and there's been a lot of controversy about. Oh, I wanted to talk a little bit about. I didn't actually think Asuka wasn't a great performance. It was her first performance, and I think Emma is maybe a little bit underrated as a worker. I don't think she's like the best. No, she's not awesome, but she works pretty hard.
People always say that, but I don't. She doesn't give me anything. She's not. I don't know. She's just nothing. I mean, she's.
You're not enamored with Asuka anyway.
No one should be.
No. Asuka's nothing, but Emma either. I don't get the Emma thing either. I mean, what has she ever given us? I mean, she's not charismatic at all. She's terrible on the mic. She can't act. She gets in the ring and sure, she puts on a decent performance.
I understand.
It's just, I just don't get the Emma thing, and then the Asuka thing. I'm like an alien towards this. I don't know, like I don't understand.
Okay,
I'm also the same way. I don't understand. Well, like, okay, you're in America, right? If you want to get over, you must speak English. At some point, you must cut a promo.
No, but then you got Kevole's buddy Jimmy Cordera saying that she has great potential. I was about to tweet him back and say, name me one Japanese wrestler that got over in America, but I wasn't going to do that to good old Jimmy.
Potential in NXT.
Everyone has potential, Dylan. It's just how they work that, right?
The thing is, you shouldn't. I understand maybe you should have potential coming up to the main roster, but when you're on the main roster, you should be complete. You should be ready to go. You should be ready to be the star. If you're called upon, you should be the man. You should be the woman. You know what I mean?
Thanks to Katana for another $10 in the super chat. Very much.
You shouldn't. You spent all those years in NXT to get your craft molded. Now it's your time. Now it's your time to take it. And already people are talking about somebody outperformed you already.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't think
what your top notch thing is on your top of your list. It's I'm a badass in the ring. What happened to that?
I have a streak. That's all it is.
I would argue that they needed to bring her up as a heel, not a face. I think that's the first.
They didn't bring her up as anything. They just had freaking video packages of a bunch of moves. And like whatever the hell like that other video package was. They didn't set her up at all.
Well, and the match didn't help. Why is your face doing that? Those kinds of things.
It's the Oscars. It's all it is a vignette. It's like, whoa, it's Empress of Tomorrow. Oh my goodness! Like, you can't get over.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let's get into Raw, and there was really
one segment
or one storyline that we came out. And basically what happened is during the beginning of the show, Kurt Angle does an applause.
Thank God I watched this on YouTube.
Yeah. Kurt Angle gives a high five to Shane McMahon. They chat, they yak, and Shane says, Kurt, Raw's going to be under siege. Kurt's like, all right.
Why do they have to use the term? Let's talk about it. What is the term under siege? Who in the hell uses this term? It is like the most bland thing.
Corny as hell, bro.
Then
I didn't understand it. Can we just sit here and try and analyze this? Well, why did Shane just come and just be like, let's beat the shit out of Raw? Like, what's his issue? I'm confused. Why? Like
he was all buddy with Kurt. Maybe there's something that they're going to explain next week. I don't know. Hopefully.
Well, Shane kind of explained it in SmackDown that he felt that Kurt was like in that promo, Kurt was all like, well, all you got really is AJ Styles and you don't have anybody else. And Shane said he was upset about that.
But he still that would also mean he would have the roster with him. So.
Yeah, like the entire did he fly the entire roster from South America in right after that, and they were able to get in 2 hours? That's impressive.
Yeah.
My thought is, okay, this is the way I would have done it. Okay, I would have had obviously something in something there before to give us a notice that, hey, maybe SmackDown might be coming to the show because this and that happened, because there's a legitimate issue between the two general managers, not just, oh, we have to kind of piece things together like a Christopher Nolan movie to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Then the second thing is, why did we only have this in one segment at the end of the show? Why didn't we have this as a storyline throughout the show? Like maybe you have the women take out the women in one segment at the beginning, and then the tag team division attacks the tag team division in the middle of the show, and then something like throughout the show, not just one giant random attack that nobody understands, and it was like 80 people versus 2. Like it, I have an issue with that. I just feel like it would have been a lot better show if you would have done that throughout the entire show instead of left it for one spot to blow your load on.
Although I do remember them doing that exact same segment last year with them attacking certain teams throughout the
I was
show.
just bringing something up, like just have it spread out the show. I don't even remember last year because it wasn't memorable. Just, do something a little bit memorable and do something throughout the show instead of just one segment, because one segment makes no sense.
I wish they would have explained it better, but I liked the attack. I thought it was cool. It was like the war thing, but I think there should be some implications in this match. Katana put it in the chat, says it would be awesome if they had a winning brand could have their title match main event WrestleMania or something. So I feel like there needs to be more of an implication.
Yeah, I don't know what is usually the
nothing.
It's nothing. Well, okay, like
usually nothing.
Certain years,
but Royal Rumble is usually the thing where if you win, you get the title shot.
No, they weren't saying the title match is the main event, but I don't know if you heard
it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get there's been certain years, like 2014, they did the Authority leaves. I feel like there should be some more of a stipulation than, hey, it's our yearly SmackDown versus Raw thing, and we have to come up with a story as to why these two hate each other all of a sudden, and then cut it off after the pay-per-view.
I feel like there should be a story outside of wrestling. Like,
well,
that's
and this
how
whole
I feel about everything. I understand the implication for it, like why we should have it, like something to throw on top of that. That's fine. Like that could be a yearly thing, and that's been an issue for Survivor Series for a long time. But like, whenever it becomes about like wrestling, it's not cool. It just like you have to make it. If you're gonna go with this Kurt Angle Shane McMahon thing, you have to make everybody else in the storyline actually. You have to believe why they're in the match and why they're fighting for this side. Like
it feels
why
like
would
go ahead.
Why would one guy randomly follow Kurt Angle for no reason? You know what I mean?
It just feels like they're fighting without a cause. It kind of seems like
yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, you had people in that attack that didn't make sense. Like Dolph Ziggler is not a fan of SmackDown. Like this is what I'm understanding in the story. He's no fan of Shane McMahon.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like that doesn't make any sense.
And people that were in feuds with each other are fighting together for one night because of this. Like Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler were in the same segment together, and they're right next to each other. I'm like, and then you got people like Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley who are nothing right now.
There's never been a reset or like a moment where they're like, okay, we're coming together because we're SmackDown. This is the reason. And then we never had reasons for each wrestler. Like Bobby Roode is doing it because of this. This is this. That's that. New Day is basically leading the team because this is
like
the reason.
all they had to do was go like, oh well, I'm getting paid extra money to do it, and this is an attack on this, or I hate this person. Something on the ground basis of that. No, it's just we're Team SmackDown. We're gonna go beat Raw, even though I don't care about you, or you. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now I want a Kurt versus Shane match. That's all I'm asking for right now.
Well, here's what I would put up here.
I've seen that before. I don't even know if I want to see that.
First of all, the first match was great, and second, I want to see it again. So
I don't know if I don't know if I want to.
They only had one match.
I think it's only been one. Yeah.
This is what I would put up for grabs. I think the loser of this match is no longer the authority in their brand. So if Angle loses, he's out, and Shane loses, he's out. That makes the most sense. Because if you don't put Owens and Zayn in this match, and you shouldn't put Owens and Zayn in this match.
No, you shouldn't.
Then you have Owens and Zayn an opportunity to turn. You did tease Daniel Bryan possibly turning on Shane McMahon because he didn't understand the attack, or that could be a swerve. You are building your Owens.
I actually heard that they might be both heel, Shane and Daniel.
I think the heel turn is coming. Like
It seems like it.
No.
See, I don't think Shane works as a heel. I don't ever like Shane as a heel. I've never been
Daniel as a heel.
Daniel doesn't.
Why would they need him to be a heel? Like
why do they need? Yeah, like that doesn't make sense. And
like if you get Shane, that doesn't bother me. But Daniel, like I don't know. But
I feel like it would be a total cool thing to see Shane as a heel, because we only saw it in like the 90s. So I think it would be a totally different
in the Invasion
character.
That's not true. We've seen Shane as a heel more than that. We saw Shane as a heel when Vince and Shawn Michaels had that.
We haven't seen it in like 20 years.
That's not true. Not true.
Actually,
we've seen it a lot.
We saw it in 06, but I mean, I think as a solo act is.
Oh, okay. Like as a solo thing, I think it would be every time Shane has been a heel, it's been with Vince. Is my point.
No, he faced Vince in the Invasion.
Yeah, but that was when he was a face.
But no, was he a heel though?
He was a heel.
He wasn't.
He was with not
really.
He was with other people, is what he's saying, because that was a whole invasion angle with multiple people in that.
And Stephanie was there too.
So he's saying like I
want to see him by himself, because I think it would be a compelling storyline if they went the way of Shane is becoming like his old man sort of thing. I feel like that would be really good. Because we haven't.
You already have Owen Shane.
I want to switch things up here. I want to see new things. I want to be creative.
That doesn't exist in the movie. That doesn't exist.
I just want to see different things and takes on the character. Batman was here, then he's there, then he's there, then he's there.
He's everywhere.
Right? Now he's on the billboards up there for Justice League.
Gotta watch that movie, by the way. That'll be dope.
Oh yeah, we gotta review that.
Yes.
Future Prize.
3 weeks from today, actually.
3 weeks. Yes. Yeah,
as well.
I'm not entirely enamored with that idea of Shane being a heel. But I mean, I think you could put that up for grabs as one of them loses their job. I think that makes the most sense. I mean, if you remember back, when was that now? 2003, I want to say, when Austin and Bischoff had, Austin lost his job. That was, and then the Authority one.
I thought some of the strongest things in that era were coming from the GM.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had Austin Bischoff. They were great. Good stuff. And then that match was great. The Authority one was great. So stipulations and implications, they are important to put over this kind of match. So I think there needs to be something. And plus, we're getting some matches here like on the rest of the card that like legitimately don't make any sense just because they're SmackDown versus Raw. For like example, Baron Corbin and The Miz are fighting. Why? Why? Just because they're Intercontinental and United States champions.
They're the same character basically on both shows. They're just going to be like, you know what, Miz? You know what, Corbin? Yeah, we're just not going to wrestle this match. How about that? We'll just keep our titles. Let's not get hurt. Let's go home.
That's what they should do.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be a great way to do it.
Alexa Bliss and Natalya are fighting each other. Again, so there's 2 heel versus heel matches on this pay-per-view. Why? Because they're champions. Dumb.
Alexa Bliss and Natalya makes a little bit more sense, personally.
Yeah.
But the Corbin-Miz match makes no sense.
You could turn Bliss face.
No, I like where they're going with this whole I'm the goddess, you have to repeat the chant thing.
Yeah. But you could turn her. I mean, she has the ability to turn face, depending. There's a story there.
Yeah, but I think she's better used as a heel, personally.
I agree.
She's too strong on the mic to be put in a face, in a box like they do with their faces.
Yeah.
That's why it's always cooler to be a heel, because you're restricted for a face.
But yeah, so I think that will be interesting going forward, that whole thing. I mean, I think, before we get into SmackDown, let's talk about who we think is going to be on the Raw team. I think Kurt Angle is on the team.
Yeah.
I think you got to have
Roman.
Yeah. The Shield are out.
Okay, so potentially Finn.
Yeah, Finn would work.
Potentially Bray.
Oh, that would be weird. Now, is it Bray or this Abigail's sister?
I would hope it would be Bray.
Sister Abigail's in this match for the 505.
I don't understand that. Like, why didn't they get a freaking chick to be Sister Abigail? Why are they trying to ruin Bray?
We've all said this. It doesn't make any sense. Why it wasn't
but anyways, I'm just throwing out potentials here, but definitely Roman would seem like he would be on the team.
Kurt and Roman, I think, are so solid.
Yeah, solid. So then you got 3 more. Braun.
I think Braun's going to go against Kane.
I think that'll happen too.
You think that will happen at Survivor Series?
But why though?
You could have them
nobody
both on the same
They didn't
team.
bring this up, but people forget Kane was drafted to SmackDown originally. He is not a Raw member. Yes, look it up.
I didn't know this.
Kane is with SmackDown.
Okay, this makes even less sense. That's just okay.
So Kane has been wrestling as a part of Raw.
He hasn't been on SmackDown in like forever. Okay. I don't think they're gonna bring that up, but okay. So
anyway,
I feel like they're gonna wait for that match, but
yeah. So I don't think Braun's gonna be on there.
I could see. No, I don't know. That wouldn't.
Could they put Jordan in the match because of with Kurt Angle?
There would be a good story there.
Yeah. That would be Jordan would make sense.
Who else do they have?
Yeah, you've got a depth issue right now. Yeah, I would go Roman, Finn, Jordan, Samoa Joe, and Kurt.
Is Samoa Joe back?
He's healthy.
He's healthy. He is healthy.
I don't know why they're doing with him.
Okay, that would work.
And
for SmackDown,
I would go
Shane,
New Day.
So it's 4 people, unless if you use 2 of them.
Well, you already got Orton on there, so you got Orton, Shinsuke,
Bobby Roode.
Do you need to have Bobby Roode and Shinsuke?
Well, that's what they want to do, right?
Okay. Well,
Shinsuke's on.
Yeah, so I'm assuming
he is?
going. Yeah,
they're doing that match next week where if it's Shinsuke versus Kevin Owens for a spot.
Oh, okay. So Shinsuke.
Orton.
What if they did Owens? That would be hilarious.
I feel that you should keep Owens and Zayn off. So
I do, but like I think it would be funny to have one of them in the match.
And then Zayn in the corner going.
AJ. We gotta put AJ
and AJ. Yeah,
in the match. So
where's New Day though?
One member of New Day can represent them.
Is this the opportunity that you give put
Big E?
Big E.
Big E. Yeah. You can have Big E in the match.
And then you can tease Roman Big E.
Because Big E, I think, would be good as a solo.
What's the tease with Big E Roman? I'm confused.
Because you're starting to establish your stardom for Big E. And if you put him with Roman.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I didn't draw out the lines.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, so that will be, I think, interesting to see what they do for there. Now on SmackDown, Shane came out and did his thing, and the crowd cheered and chanted "Under Siege," which was I the only one confused?
Was he doing that what's that movie?
I don't know what movie.
I don't know what movie that is.
He wasn't doing that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was like, wait, huh?
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
he's in like 10 minutes of that 2.5-hour movie.
Matthew McConaughey's the GOAT, by the way. The GOAT.
Can't remember.
Well, other than the other actor that was in the movie, but anyways.
The actor was not in that movie. That was terrible. Terrible, not in the movie.
Leo took his place. Yeah, Leo took his place.
Not the actor.
Actor is too old. He's the old version of Leo.
After I fight Daniel Bryan, I fight you, Leo. You and I fight, Leo.
Why doesn't the actor have a team in this? Why isn't it actor's team versus Daniel Bryan's team?
Oh, yes.
Cameron Newton.
Cameron Newton. Benjamin.
No, Ben will be out in 2 seconds in the match. He'll be like, oh, my pinky.
Cameron Newton would walk out.
He has William Shakespeare in his corner.
Bruce Arians.
He'll get
fired. just Bruce Arians' hat. Just his hat.
Robert McNair. Now he's on that team.
We're supposed to talk about SmackDown here.
Yeah, it's back to SmackDown. We had
nothing happened. Jinder came out, cut a promo. They tried to sign the women.
We need to talk about that first. We'll get into that for a second because there's some interesting ideas there. But I do want to talk about SmackDown. They started with Shane. They did the Under Siege. They kind of explained it. Sami Zayn comes out and does more dancing. I don't know what we're thinking about this Sami Zayn heel thing. He's a lot more obnoxious. I'll say that.
I just don't. I was talking to Dylan about this last week. I don't quite believe it. It's not quite there for me. Like, he doesn't sell it.
Because he's all over here like, da, 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 da. I'm like, whoa, bro.
Well, the part I'm even getting rid of the entrance and everything. Just the way that he speaks. It's almost like he is playing a wrestling heel, not that he is Sami Zayn, the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people are giving him a lot of credit for his promos, which I think have been better. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, there is something missing from that. When you watch The Miz or a great heel, they have their reasons for what they're doing. And, like, that's the way they are. But with Sami Zayn, it just doesn't feel right.
I wonder if that storyline, though, too. I wonder if we're supposed to wonder that.
Like, we're supposed to wonder, like, why he's doing... I don't know. It's becoming where, like, Kevin Owens, like Kev said, is becoming the focal point. And then, like, Sammy's doing his thing.
But that's I think that's the way it should be, honestly. And I'm not a huge Kevin Owens guy, but I'm even less of a Sami Zayn guy. I think Sami Zayn should be the Robin in this scenario. He should be the Robin.
But why would you then turn Sami Zayn heel?
To give Kevin support.
But that's
because he's not great on his own.
Like, as a character move, why is you're not moving? This has been my problem all along. You're not moving Sami Zayn up. You're moving him the same. He's still under
moving
Kevin
him up, 100% up. He hasn't done shit. He hasn't done shit, Kev. He hasn't done anything. He was jobber material before this storyline.
He's moving glorified jobber material now. So I guess in that sense, yes, he's moved up. But in my mind, he's not up.
Still, I'm looking at this show. I'm like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are your main stars on your show. This show sucks. Like, seriously.
No, it's just a good thing. I'm just a good thing. Becky Lynch is now the team captain. So,
and people are trying to tell me that this roster is better than any roster ever.
Ever.
I could go 20 stars down the 80s roster and give you somebody bigger than anyone on this roster.
On the SmackDown roster, you mean? Or like the WWE roster?
The WWE, probably. Okay, 10 stars down. Probably 10 stars down.
I was like, let's not go overboard, but 10.
Yeah. Cool it down there, man. Cool it down.
Put it down.
I was exaggerating. It's called exaggerating. Actor knows that.
Actor. Yes. It invokes...
Cameron Newton, that's his biggest skill.
Cameron Newton.
Then we also... The other things that happened...
The actor needs to make a video just about Cam.
Oh, that's coming. The other thing that happened is what we got at the end was Daniel Bryan saying we didn't get the Raw attack, and that's coming. That was the final scene. And we didn't get the Raw attack.
That makes no sense.
I actually disagree. I actually thought it made a lot of sense because you didn't need to give that away right away. You know that it's coming. We know that it's coming.
But why couldn't you give it at least a warning shot? Like, Raw makes a threat or something. They did nothing.
You know what I don't understand? Why wasn't Randy Orton involved in the SmackDown attack? I would have loved to seen an RKO out of nowhere.
Like when
RKO Kurt?
No, like that one part where the Shield was in the corner and Seth Rollins jumped off the top. Like freaking Randy comes out of nowhere.
Randy comes out of nowhere. Like Kurt turns around, boom, RKO.
Yeah. I never got the sense of why they dragged it. They told him to run to the back and then dragged Kurt to the front on Raw. I never got that.
And then they never attacked him.
Because everything in WWE, this is their thing. This isn't good or bad, but everything for WWE, it's like a rule, is that it needs to end in the ring.
Oh, okay. I had a rant here. I'm gonna put this.
But Shane and Daniel Bryan didn't end that storyline in the ring. And they didn't end the chapter in the ring. They ended it backstage.
Which?
The final scene in SmackDown was
SmackDown, but Raw, right? Was in the ring.
We're talking about like the beatdown. Why couldn't it have ended in the outside? I don't know. Let me rant about something quick. This has nothing. It kind of has something to do with WWE, but it's more YouTube. So they uploaded the clip of the attack, and YouTube says it was an age-restricted video. So
a lot of wrestling content is.
Well, this one, like, specifically, like, for their content, like, you don't make that much money off it because most advertisers are like, oh, it's too violent. Like, it's so stupid. This is what PG, like, they're PG and this stuff is still happening. I really do hate it.
Hey, guys, what do you think? I don't know if Kev has this in the news, so stop me, but hey, Stephanie McMahon said that the WWE has the biggest quarter sales that they've ever had. I
find that to complete trash.
I quoted the tweet and I was like, imagine if this product was actually good. How much money they would make.
It can't be possible though. Like,
well, no, it's possible because they're making money on all the external. They have all these different markets outside of the US now. They're everywhere. They have all these cable hookups. They have the network, which people are buying for old stuff, by the way. They have the merchandise. They have the social media impact. They have a bunch of different charitable things. They're everywhere. So it makes a lot of sense because back, even in the Attitude Era, they only really had Raw or SmackDown or a couple like merchandise. That's it. They didn't have all these other things.
Yeah, their focus is a lot. That's why you did the Mahal experiment. That's why you're still doing the Mahal experiment, because it's...
And never discredit WWE for being a good business. They're a good business. But the thing is, WWE is a safe business. They don't go outside. They're never going to reach the heights of what they used to be because they're too safe right now. They're content. And that's because they're making money in different ways. But at the same time, it's weird that they're making money and they're the best quarter, but they're also there's worries from certain people about what's going to happen to their cable contract in the US and
like 2019 it comes up
all this stuff because they're losing ratings, and it's a weird balance.
Yeah, it's like you would think they would be losing more money because of those ratings, because like it's been the lowest it's ever been, or at least a couple of months ago.
But they're gaining money on merch. They've changed a lot of music.
They've also public. When they were in the Attitude Era, at least for that, they've been public, so that's a big market. But.
Yeah, we'll get into the ratings on this in a second, but which went up. And now I'm trying to remember what we were talking about. Let's get back to. I liked Raw not attacking them because there's a couple of different ways you can go. If you're going to get real here. You're Kurt Angle, you can say, you know what? I don't want my guys on your show. Your show sucks. Your show is overrated. Nobody watches your show. Come to us. They'll watch on our show. We have the higher ratings. You can say our show is better and we're not.
Why don't they ever bring up ratings?
Well, that's what Vince McMahon brought that up.
It breaks kayfabe, brother. Breaks kayfabe.
But Vince McMahon brought that up at the beginning. I want social media. Social media.
When was this? When he said?
Why'd you sound like the Hulk when you said that?
I'm trying to sound Vince McMahon.
No, you sound like Hulk. Hulk smash.
McMahon.
Hulk smash. Hulk smash. I want ratings, damn it.
I want ratings, damn it. Ratings.
That's better, Kevole. That's
better. So you could make that argument, and then, or you could build that that this is coming. And you can have people watch SmackDown each week up to the Survivor Series for the build and the anticipation of that attack. That's another way that you could do this as well. So there's a number of different ways that you can do it. But I think a lot of people aren't liking this storyline because it's setting other storylines back. Your Shane story, you're bringing people together that isn't together. I think that this actually has the potential to be something really interesting, and you can build storylines out of it if this is done right. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I kind of like this idea, and I think it will be interesting going forward. Now, we did not talk about Brock versus Jinder, and let's talk about what did we think of Paul Heyman's promo on Monday? Because I actually thought that was one of his better promos he's done in a long time.
No, okay, let me explain this. Right,
the same thing.
I love Paul Heyman. The guy is great, but the last 2 years have been the same thing. It's just, oh, well, my client Brock Lesnar is here and he's going to take up challenges. But this time it was a little different because he discredited who he was facing. Usually Paul Heyman likes to
Build up
sell the match. Right. Build up that person to credibility. This time he's like, oh, well, he's a fake champion. He's over on SmackDown. He's not a legit contender to Brock Lesnar. And that just makes him look like a goof. And when we're going to get to the pay-per-view, I feel like Brock is going to kill him in 5 minutes.
I disagree. I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I actually think that Paul's going to turn on Brock. We're going to get what we call
Jinder Mahal.
Yep. That wouldn't make no sense, though, because Jinder Mahal is by himself. He's good on the mic. You don't need...
And he's got two people.
And he's got two guys.
I think that WWE wants Paul Heyman beside Jinder Mahal so they can continue to build him up. I think that they think Paul...
That makes no sense. Like, Braun makes sense. Roman makes sense.
I don't think the Jinder move makes sense.
Jinder?
I've read that there's a lot of talk that that's what's going to happen.
I think that's dumb.
But what I don't think is dumb is having Paul and Brock split. Because I do I think
we've thought about that for a while. We've all talked about that.
And that's what I liked about the promos, because I felt, okay, this is possibly the beginning of the end of the Paul Brock turn.
Okay, where did you get that from? All I got was, oh, it's the same promo. The Beast is here. He's talking about old wrestlers. Then he talks about Jinder. He discredits him. And then Brock's going to beat your ass. He beats everybody's ass. He's the Beast. He put over. That's all I got. Like Vince Russo says, we need an animated caricature in the ring. Then it would be great.
It would be great.
What I got from that is everyone else he put up everybody else in respect, and this one he didn't. And everyone is thinking, well, that's because he doesn't like him. But he could see the end for Brock Lesnar near.
We've seen this so many times. Like, we saw this with Roman. We saw this with Braun.
No, wait. Putting somebody down shows the signal of the end?
That he's turning towards Jinder.
That doesn't make sense to me. If he's going to discredit, why is he discrediting another wrestler then?
Because he wants you to they want you to think that something else. They're trying to swerve you.
They don't know how to swerve anymore.
I understand that, but they're attempting to swerve.
They don't have the swerver.
They don't have swerver.
They don't have the man. He could swerve me. Judy Bagwell was a tag team champion with him, okay? I don't know swerves in this company because they can't swerve me. It's not possible. It's like they're trying to go Fast Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, and they have like a 1960s truck over here. Like, they just don't know. They don't know. So, the turn, I guess, would make sense if, like, Paul Heyman was to go align himself with somebody else. But the alignment with Jinder, fiction.
Okay, we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, I think that no one has any expectations of this match, which makes it interesting in a sense because we could be pleasantly surprised.
Go Jinder.
Go Jinder, they say.
I wanted this match to happen, though. I will say that I was prepared for this match to happen.
Should happen.
Yeah, it's a champion versus champion, and I mean, I think the one that I think will steal the show will be Usos versus Rollins and Ambrose. I think that will be an excellent match.
That'll be very good,
unless Ambrose single-handedly ruins the match. But
I think I'm going to go with the Usos overtaking Ambrose single-handedly ruining the match. I have faith in the Usos, the greatest tag team in the world, not the Young Bucks. You can kick me if you want.
I thought we were going to make a whole freaking episode without bringing up the Young Bucks.
I just made that was a shot.
The Bucks.
That's okay. Good job, Kevole. You're learning. Good job. All right, let's get to the news, bro.
Okay.
The news.
By the way, I've never seen any of this stuff. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't think Dylan has either. So
no, I don't know. Let's see.
It's first reaction.
Well, I know I've heard about one of the stories.
Actually, one of them because I think the Omega stuff is on.
Yes, yeah, that's the one
I stumbled upon that because I follow Jericho.
That's the one I've heard, but continue, Kev. You guys don't know the secret. Okay.
Okay, so as I'm pulling up the news as we are talking here. Then
we'll get to comments after the news.
Okay. There wasn't really a lot other than the siege to talk about. What was interesting to me is Impact this week emanated from Tokyo, Windsor, Orlando, and Mexico.
How? How's that possible?
I know.
They have money to do this? They haven't had money
well,
in forever.
what they've done is they've affiliated themselves with a bunch of different organizations to like MML, Canadian company, a couple of other ones to put on matches. And they only put on all of the matches, obviously, where the Impact stars won. But I just was like, what do you think of the idea of having organizations work with other organizations? Do you see that in the future? I don't want to bring up the Young Bucks, but Ring of Honor and New Japan have had a pretty good relationship over the years that I think has benefited both of them really well. Do you see that being a good
I think we need to see some sort of competition for WWE. That's the only way that we're going to have have wrestling get better. Like, people are like, ROH and freaking New Japan are like really good and it's the best it's ever been. And it's like, you know, if it's the best it's ever been, it's not even touching the WWE right now. It's not even like in its existence. And WWE sucks right now. So what if WWE is actually good? So my thing is, like, we need the combined forces, because we don't have like somebody coming along that has the money that can match Vince and the McMahons and that can force that war again, because we don't, like, it's probably never going to happen, but like one way it could happen is if a bunch of smaller companies join together and they got a big following.
The thing I think that's helping WWE right now is the fact that they're so big outside of wrestling. They've got all these organizations with them. It's kind of helping them because their company is awful, and the closest competition the competition, the biggest competition they've had since WCW went out was Impact, and look how that failed miserably.
That was Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, I guess he gave him the biggest ratings, but
no. Eric Bischoff freaking put it 3 hours on Monday night. Freaking idiot.
It was
I love
dumb.
Eric Bischoff, but what an idiot. Why would you do that? Bro.
It's so dumb.
Was that Bischoff or Russo?
That was Bischoff.
It was Bischoff. Their first, I think it was the first night, or like 3 weeks after they went live, they had their lowest TV rating.
Like when, you know, Russo and Bischoff and Hogan were there, they were producing ratings. I think it might have been before Bischoff was there, but Hogan, I think, was there. And like they were producing like really good ratings, like 2 million. That's pretty good. Like, especially WWE pulls that right now.
Especially for that kind of company they're doing. That was very good.
Yeah, that was really good. They had like 2 million viewers a week, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we got 2 million. You know, we're gonna go ahead and go put it on Monday night
all the way, brother." Like, okay, you can do it as a one-time special. I don't have a problem with that, but come on now. You're not. And then Eric Bischoff is on Twitter. He's like, they were nowhere near as close as that. They were like the minor league baseball team when it came to WCW. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to ever be any competition. But, and of course, with Impact, they always lose money every 5 seconds. So I can't really trust them. That's how I feel about that.
Well, it might be a good way to keep that going. Another interest, I didn't put this in the news that I did forget to bring this up, but Alberto El Patron is expected to be at Bound for Glory.
I hate the guy. He's a scumbag, and he's a terrible wrestler. So
why is he a scumbag? Sorry, I'm unaware.
Well, all the stuff that's been happening with the Page situation, and then the reason he got his championship suspended, or the domestic violence issue. So,
yeah. And Jeff Jarrett is gone from Global Force Wrestling.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great. Honest.
I don't know what that means for Karen.
We've met Karen twice.
We've met both of them twice.
Jeff too. God, Karen is irritating.
She's just, it's all about, remember when I was married to Kurt Angle? And oh my god, like, oh, this is, no. And we'll have to get into a story about that later.
Sounds good.
Don't have the time.
And other than that, really, what else was going on was Omega and Jericho has been going at it.
This
on
is
Twitter.
fake, though. This is clearly
It's fake.
It's been totally fake.
Somebody put in the chat, and this is totally, I think, correct. The Jericho Omega shit is to set up a match between them.
What's Cruise?
Okay, so Jericho is doing like this Ring of Honor like wrestling thing where he's combining like a whole bunch of different.
Jericho is doing this?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jericho's promoting this as himself.
Interesting. Okay.
So he's bringing like wrestling personalities, but he's also bringing music on this like one big cruise. And I think they're gonna have a match on here.
Like a cruise?
Like
Yes, a cruise, like on about.
Cruise.
On about.
Like Rob Gronkowski's cruise.
Yes.
Yeah, except it's Chris Jericho's cruise.
It's Chris Jericho.
Okay.
And the Jericho and Omega is expected to main event that.
My favorite comment was the guy that was not even involved in it, and he said, "Imagine
the marks, though." I'm just thinking like the first thing. Oh my god!
They would mark
like, hey, that's a smart idea because there's going to be a lot of marks going to that.
I actually think it would be a good match too. I think they'll put on a really good match.
I love Jericho. I'd probably be interested.
But yeah, go to that comment. That comment was great. Because Omega's like, yeah, bro, I've had like 6 out of 5 star matches and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I'm the best.
And then the guy was like, imagine rating talent from Meltzer star ratings. Like it was really good.
Like you judge yourself. Like that's the issue. Like they judge themselves. They actually care about that. Like that's like they care about if they get 6 out of 5. So they're basically wrestling the style that Davey wants them to wrestle.
I feel like they go on the internet.
Young Bucks have their finisher named after Dave Meltzer. Like,
I feel like they go on the internet like a couple of days after the match and they're like, oh my god, where's the Meltzer rating? Oh god! And then they go over there and it's like 4.5. I can do so much better than that. And then they're like,
you know what's funny is like it's probably like Kenny and the Young Bucks, like they're in a conversation with Roman Reigns and they're like this and that. They're like, oh, how many 6 out of 5 star matches you got? And then Roman's like, well, you know, how much money do you have? Like, what are you talking about?
Call me up when you actually make $3 million in your career. I make that in 1 year. So that's funny.
No, I just find that hilarious. But
Kev,
yeah, I think it would be interesting. I think that's a good idea on Jericho's part.
Yeah.
He's gonna make a good money out of this. It'll be good for him. Kev, is it okay if we go to the comments?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get the feedback from the fans.
All right. TMB says
I think 5 minutes if we're going off our schedule, I think.
Yeah. Let's be quick.
We will do comments and then we'll be up. TMB says, I think the SmackDown invading Raw segment was bad, honestly. It makes SmackDown look bad when they claim to raid Raw, but no Braun, Roman, Kane, or Brock in the segment. That's a good point. I read the Katana thing about the 10.
But then you can bring
that was just to protect them. But like, I don't understand the whole point of the SmackDown wrestlers attacking jobbers on Raw for the most part.
Yeah, and then some of them were jobbers from SmackDown too. So TMB says, I actually like Katana's idea to have it work like the MLB All-Star Game. You know, winner gets the brand, a main event title thing. Katana says he's ready for a Roman heel turn. It would be awesome if they had him come back at Survivor Series and then turn him like in the middle of the match. Maybe. TMB says Asuka's value went down significantly with her 2 matches, and I love it. Marks made her out to be a killer, and she struggled against jobber Emma. Yes, that is great. That's great. T. Clark says I watched the highlights and still not impressed. SmackDown Live Invasion felt kind of corny, but we already know Raw is winning at Survivor Series. # predictable. Katana says I don't know what there is in Asuka's character for me to get behind. That's pretty true. Clark says Asuka is going to be another victim to bad storyline and bad booking, not defending her, but just saying people like Kevin Dunn and creatively don't know how to book people except Roman, Alexa, and Jinder. I disagree with that. She's terrible by her own self. T. Clark says I would rather watch Angle versus Shane in Survivor Series than the 5-man tag. I want both of them separate if it was to be the case, but I'm cool with it being this way. Tyshawn says, hi, hey, big fan. Do you guys think The Undertaker will have another match?
Yes.
I hope not. I've said this for a while. I really, really hope not.
I hope not, because I'm a selfish bastard and I saw his last match. So, but plus he's done. He is done. He's too old. He can't move. He gets hurt. Leave him alone. Let him go watch the Ric Flair stuff and just leave him alone.
Yeah. Hey,
I agree with all of those things, but I still think we're going to get one more match.
You just reminded me of something. I might be doing a Ric Flair 30 for 30 review because that comes up soon. If it's on a Tuesday, I'll do it. Who do we think is better? This should be a good question for Mitch. Roman or Finn Balor? Roman. There you go. Waiting. There you go.
Dana.
NWO. T Clark says NWO is 100 times better and way over than all of today's WWE roster overall. Believe that. NWO is for the culture. For the culture, baby.
One of those wrestlers was more over than anyone on the roster.
There you go. Have you? I've not heard of this. We'll end it with this one. Have you heard that the 25th anniversary of Raw is going to be 4 freaking hours in Brooklyn on January?
There's a 25th anniversary of Raw?
Yeah. It started in 1993.
Oh, bro, I'm actually excited for that because those shows are usually good.
4 hours?
Like, what are we going to get?
What do you need 4 hours for?
Bro, well, like if we get like Austin and Rock and like DX and shit, I'm down.
That's an hour. You can't.
That could be more than an hour. You could have like The Rock versus Triple H. You could have like some crazy shit on the show.
Now that would be dope. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
You could have Cena Orton on the mat on the show.
2018, is it? Or 19?
It's 18. Will be the 25th. So let's see.
I'm looking forward to that. That's the one show I'm going to try and tune in live for.
It'll be either January 8th or January 15th because the first show is on the 11th.
And I will say this now. I'm saying this now. That will be the highest rated show of the year.
It has to be. Besides maybe the Raw after WrestleMania. But other than that, it has to be. Because it's, yeah. But that's it for comments. I don't want 4 hours of wrestling.
I don't want 4 hours of Raw.
It depends who's on the show.
I want 3. I will definitely.
If it's a pay-per-view like show, like with all these stars on it, then I could do it.
We'll probably do a Raw review for that, like actual review for that. So.
Good God, 4 hour review.
And then we have to review it afterwards. That'd be great.
All right, Kevole, wrap it up.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for commenting. Thanks Kachana and others if they gave to give. Thanks for Dylan and Mitch for hanging out. We will be back next Friday with more reviewing Raw and SmackDown. I don't think there's an event, news of the day, etc., etc. And so for Mitch, for Dylan, it's Kevole. Peace out.
Peace.
Deuces.